Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from CNN Business. Now, this was written on April 17th by the world's biggest shitbag, Oliver Darcy. And basically, it's a situation where if you aren't pushing this, we got to lock things down for up to 18 months. And if we don't do this, millions of people are going to die bullshit. That has now been proven to be bullshit. If you don't do that, they're going to go out and try to destroy you, discredit you, or whatever else. And when you have two actual doctors, like medical doctors, saying, yeah, things aren't as bad as they made them, and fear porn, things along those lines, that, we overreacted, it's not a good thing, at least from Oliver Darcy's perspective and the legacy media. Because, see, it looks like what the legacy media and the Democrats want is this country shut down for so long that the economy implodes so that they can then place that at the feet of Trump and get him out of office in November. Well, when you have people speaking, from their point of view for... giving their opinion, giving their, whether it's medical or personal, and it goes against that. Like I said, they don't like that. Anyway, let's get into the article here. New York, of course from New York, why not? Fox News has displayed a knack in recent weeks for inviting prominent television doctors on its air who make absurd comments that ignite controversy. Now, this is what's funny. See, he's using television doctors as not a slur, a shot, taking a shot at them, trying to discredit them, along that lines. So maybe slurish, but not a slur. And the idea is it's to discredit them, because let's just ignore the fact that one doctor's an MD. Another one is not only an MD, he's a cardiologist, and the third one, he's a PhD, and he has a psychological understanding of what's going on, how it affects the people. So, yeah. But anyway, since the arrival of I'm already been shadow banned. Screw it. Since the arrival of... I'll call it the Wu Flu. Screw it. Since the arrival of the Wu Flu pandemic, the conservative network has hosted Dr. Mehmet Oz, Dr. Drew Pinsky, and Dr. Phil McGraw on its programs, which Dr. Oz is a cardiologist. Dr. Pinsky is an MD. They have medical backgrounds. They went to medical school. I think they understand infectious disease. And what's funny is they're trying to discredit them. When they bring this, I can't think of his name, this doctor on, who does not have an expertise in, infectious disease, does not have it in a related field. And he's saying we got to lock the country down for 18 months. We got to have COOF camps. We got to follow China's model. All right. If we don't, grandma and 2 million of her friends are going to die, which... that's been proven false, because people aren't following the social distancing and everything else, and we're not even coming close to what him and all these others were claiming of 1 to 200,000 deaths. Okay, if we did everything absolutely perfect. We're not even close to that, and we're not even close to doing it perfectly. So, they're scrambling now because they oversold this. They... basically, we're trying to cash in on this, so to speak, and now it's coming back to bite them in the ass. Anyway, well, the three household names have all had success in daytime television. Each of them has previously faced serious criticism from medical professionals. Moreover, none of them are infectious disease experts. Well, none of the doctors you've really brought on to CNN saying 18 months in COOF camps, shit brick, none of them have been infectious disease experts or in a related field. So what's your point? An MD does not understand infections? Dr. Drew is a general practitioner, from my understanding. He has to have knowledge of a little bit of everything, including infectious diseases. I mean, this is ridiculous. Oliver Darcy is such a shit brick. He really is a waste of space. I mean, this is a guy who has made it his like quest to go out and deplatform people. Okay, he calls himself a journalist, but he's an activist who uses CNN as a platform to get others deplatformed or discredited or verbally attacked, like have the mob sent after him. And somehow he keeps getting away with this. And I don't understand it. There is no reason why this guy should be able to keep doing what he's doing. Okay, using CNN to deplatform people. All right, he did it to Alex Jones. He's tried to do it to other people at InfoWars. He's done it to tried and succeeded on different levels on the note of YouTube. Okay, getting people deplatformed, demonetized, whatever else. This guy is a complete and total waste of space. It's ridiculous. And he doesn't understand, as a journalist, the concept of proper English. You don't not only start a sentence, but not only do you not start a sentence with "and," you don't start the first sentence in a paragraph with it. Jesus. And yet, Oz, McGraw, and Pinsky have all appeared on Fox News making comments that supports the network's editorial viewpoint, but which fly in the face of what health officials have said about the Wu flu. Not necessarily true, because there are a lot of doctors out there that aren't towing the line. But see, they're trying to make it sound like it's like the idea of 99.9%, because it's like they say 99%, but whatever, 9 out of 10. But scientists all agree, on climate change, and you actually go look at it at that where that comes from, and it's complete bullshit. Like, they're basically like trying to say, well, everyone agrees, because supposedly these days consensus is fucking science instead of cold hard facts. It's ridiculous. In the weeks before President Donald Trump declared a national emergency over the pandemic on March 13th, Fox News hosts and personalities spent continually downplayed the seriousness of... What the hell? Learn proper English here, Darcy. It just doesn't flow right. I mean... So Fox News hosts and personalities continually downplayed the seriousness of the coronavirus. That's not even grammatically correct. Wow. No editor. Cizilla's an editor at large. He didn't go and read this before Darcy submitted it? Cillizza, you're slipping, buddy. You soy-filled bitch. You're supposed to be reading shit before it goes up and checking it for grammar and facts. Can't even do any of that. Wow. Darcy can't even write proper English. But anyway, what he's basically saying is they downplayed the seriousness. They didn't downplay it. They literally looked at the situation and did not agree with what the fear porn, fear-mongering idiots that you put on were pushing, that are like deep state shitbags and Trump deranged morons who see an opportunity to try to get to destroy this country's economy just to get the bad orange man out of office. Because they think they can lay the economy going to shit at his feet. But when they're the ones that are pushing for this, and he's the one that wants to open up the country, in the end, you know what would happen? They're the ones that are going to look like idiots. And they don't realize that. After Trump's declaration, their tone became more serious. But it has again shifted as of late, with high-profile hosts and personalities now pushing to end the shutdown and questioning whether it was prudent in the first place. Yeah, because a lot of countries, Korea, we got to do what Korea did. Well, Korea didn't lock down their fucking country. I mean, they doxed people and shit, but it was business as friggin' usual. We got to do what Japan did. Oh, they didn't lock down their country either. India hasn't locked down their country. It's business as usual. And they've got like very low cases at this point. I mean, come on now. This is ridiculous. Neither Oz nor McGraw nor Pinsky are on the payroll of Fox News. Okay, so yeah, they're not being paid, which gives them credibility. They just don't agree with you. The network does not have a pool of paid medical contributors, which includes. Wait a minute. The network does have a pool of paid medical contributors, which includes Dr. Mark Siegel, Dr. Martin Makari, and Dr. Janet Nishiwat, whatever that is, that it regularly uses to discuss the virus. Okay, yeah. So they go on, they express their opinions, and because you don't like those opinions, you're trying to say that what they're saying is crazy things. And we're going to get into, because he goes in here with each one. We're going to see whether what they said is actually crazy. Because what's funny is Darcy has this thing about projection, and he's knocking futs. He's like sick. I don't want to say he's like all 6 cans short. Okay, he's 5 cans short of a 6-pack. He's a few fries short of a Happy Meal. He's a couple sandwiches short of a picnic basket. You'd have to be as deranged as he is about having to deplatform people and silence free speech for me, not for thee, and shit like that. You have to be fucking nuts. It's ridiculous. But Oz, McGraw, and Pinsky are household names, giving what they say and the advice they dispense significantly more weight. And the comments each of them have made while on Fox News have supported the message the network was promoting at one point or another. So wait a minute, because they're not pushing this fear-mongering bullshit that you are, that 2 million will die, but they're saying it's serious. You're going to try to push this bullshit here? Come on now. And this idea that they're supposedly going to have significantly more weight in what they say is fucking hilarious. All right? That's complete and total bullshit. I don't look at Dr. Phil for medical or fucking even psychological advice. He's like, all right, if you've ever lived in the Texas, Louisiana border region, most of the people there are fucking nuts in general. And there's a lot of insanity down there. And I'm thinking he's one of those crazy fuckers himself. I wouldn't trust his psychological bullshit, especially watching his show. Because the guy's never actually had a psychology practice, And this idea of like Dr. Oz, okay, he is a credible doctor. So isn't Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew, you had no problems with the things he was saying when it came to addiction or anything like that. You did not have a problem with his medical opinion. Because Dr. Oz doesn't necessarily toe the party line. You got a problem with him here and there. And the thing is you're trying to portray this like a situation where they don't know what they're talking about. They have more of a clue than you. And here you are trying, they say crazy things. Come on now, Darcy. You're so transparent. It's like you think people are beyond stupid, which goes to show your limited cognitive and intellectual abilities, buddy. And the comments each of them have made while on Fox have supported the message the network. Their opinions just happen to align. So what? That's why I'm looking at that going, oh, God. Anyway. A spokesperson for Fox News declined to comment for this story, but all 3 doctors have walked back the controversial comments they've made during their appearances on the network. Yeah, because shitbags like you have sent the mobs after them, and you're like, well, you better comply and shut the fuck up, or we're going to destroy your lives, and we're going to have these people harassing you and just piling piles of shit on you because you're a fucking scumbag. It's ridiculous. So here's the thing on Dr. Oz. Oz, the celebrated cardiac surgeon, has become a fixture on Fox News in recent weeks, although he's not formally employed by the network. So what? During his appearance, he has made comments that have drawn significant scrutiny. This week, he faced backlash for comments made Tuesday on Sean Hannity's Fox News show. Oh no, he was on Hannity. As Hannity, arguably Trump's top supporter on cable television, discussed how to end the shutdown and get Americans back to work, Oz offered up an idea. And it wasn't a bad idea, considering, kids are the least likely, statistically with this, to have, it really affect them. Anyway, Reopening schools across the country might be an appetizing opportunity. He cited an article in a medical journal which said it may only cost us 2 to 3% in terms of total mortality. Okay, which is what's funny is everyone's tried to twist this. He means 2 to 3% over the whole population of the country. They're trying to make it sound like he's talking about with school kids. No, he's talking about the fact of like the whole country. Let's see, but see, they don't want to make that clear. I mean, because heaven forbid, they actually lay out all the facts for the American people and let them decide for themselves. No, they basically want to tell them what to do, and they better do it because they think they're in charge. It's ridiculous. Anyway, we need our mojo back, Oz told Hannity, contending that reopening schools with the theoretical risk on the backside might be a trade-off for some folks that some folks would consider. Yes. See, they don't want people to choose for themselves because the idea is we'll protect you. Stay in your homes. Listen to us 24/7. We want you locked up for 18 months. And this goes against that. It's so funny. Oz did not respond to requests for comment from CNN. But on Thursday, facing significant criticism, he released a video on Twitter in which he said he misspoke because, yes, the mobs went after him for speaking the truth that some people would actually consider, probably a large number of people, which I'm going to be getting into another video, which I believe is going to be up Sunday, because I'm doing 2 for Saturday and 1 for Sunday because I got to be busy this weekend. But I believe it's the one I'm putting up Sunday about how people with the beaches just didn't give a shit. When Jacksonville reopened the beaches, they showed up. And that's what they're afraid of, is the people are going to go, you know what, fuck this. And they're not going to have their sway and control over them that they think they think they have. Because they have far less than what they really do at this point. But anyway, he misspoke. So I realize my comments on risks around schools have confused and upset people, which was never my intention, Oz said. Oz said he had been asked constantly how to... Oh, he's being dishonest as shit because he's taken all this stuff, misspoke out of context, one section here, partial of a sentence here with another part. This guy is fucking sleazy. Twisting shit to make it... Yeah, anyway. But Oz said he has been asked constantly how to get people back to their normal lives. He said he would continue to examine different approaches to beat this virus. But those aren't the only comments Oz has made on Fox's airwaves that have drawn criticism. But see, he really didn't backpedal with that. Even with Darcy twisting it, that's not a backpedal. He has caught Trump's attention for taking up the potential effectiveness of the anti-malarial drug hydroxychloroquine as a way to treat the novel coronavirus, despite the lack of firm scientific evidence that it's an effective treatment. You know what's funny is it's working, though. You've got it being used in New York City. You've got it being used in a lot of places. And the dumb bitch in Michigan, the people are protesting her authoritarian shit as governor. She had to, rescind her bullshit with that. It's working. It's being used. There are signs that it's effective. See, they want this 6-year fucking trial bullshit because if they don't get that, then that means Trump is lying. Trump don't know what he's talking about. And they're trying to make it sound like Trump got this from Dr. Oz. This is when it was being used outside the country, and you don't think the president of the United States is going to be made aware of these things from someone other than fucking Dr. Oz? Seriously. This is such bullshit. Darcy is such a sleazy scumbag. He really is. Oz himself even acknowledged the lack of evidence from clinical trials that proves whether or not hydroxychloroquine is effective against the Wu flu. Now, here's the thing. There are studies that have been showing that, yes, it is working. But they want, like I said, that long-term 6-year fucking study bullshit. This is ridiculous. There is no question it is not proven to be beneficial in large clinical trials we expect in America. Certainly that the FDA and medical societies would desire. Yet they approved it. They approved it for treatment. As a treatment for the Wu flu. The fucking FDA did that. This is what's messed up. The FDA approves it. And he's still trying to say, well, there's no proof whatsoever. Well, there was enough for the FDA to say, hey, let's try it out. He is so sleazy. Oz acknowledged earlier this month on Fox News. But these have been supported with case studies. Yeah. In fact, at the time of his comments, studies in humans have presented conflicting conclusions. Bullshit. This week, however, a French study found that hydroxychloroquine does not help patients with the virus. Bullshit. They're pulling out these like studies. Like, they show that it does. All right. They're literally pulling shit out of their ass. And then this idea of conflicting conclusions. I'm guessing it's CNN. They're linking to their stuff. That's what gets me is instead of, say, linking to the French study itself, they link to an article to them. You know that they're being dishonest with that. I mean, it's like with the Young Turks and them trying to, with the hydroxychloroquine being dangerous. They took a study where one group got a higher dose, one group got one got 500 milligrams, the other one got 450. The 500 milligrams, they tried to say everyone died. 2 people died. Okay, and that's because they were getting too much of the drug. Because doctors were going, what happens if we do more? They were basically doing Mengele shit with their study. But not all of them died. I mean, this is ridiculous. Oz, who is an advocate of alternative medicine and treatments, has been skewered by the medical community for years. Which now here we go into the attacking him at the end. In 2015, a group of physicians wrote Columbia University saying they were dismayed Oz was a member of the school's faculty. And in 2014, Oz was scolded by senators during a congressional hearing over his promotion of weight loss products on his television show. So what? Those things really don't discredit him. Because you had some doctors that were butthurt. Because usually when doctors are doing something like that, they're just jealous that he's got the big paycheck and he's doing a television show and they're not. Anyway, each time he has defended himself. In 2015, Oz said he provides the public information that will help them on their path to be their best selves, provides multiple points of view, and contended that doesn't sit well sometimes with certain agendas which distorts the facts. See, he takes stuff out of context and he can't even make it fucking go right here. And contends that doesn't sit well sometimes, that it doesn't sit well sometimes with certain agendas, which distorts the facts. Which you're distorting the facts when you're literally taking all this shit out of context and piecing it together like he said it himself. I mean, even though you're doing third person, you're trying to represent what you're claiming about him by taking stuff out of context to be true. All right, now we get to crazy fucker Dr. Phil. McGraw is not a medical doctor. He holds a doctorate in clinical psychology, but is not licensed to practice. So basically what you're saying is he knows what he's talking about, but doesn't practice psychology. That doesn't really go against him, but I wouldn't say that he knows what he's talking about myself, because I think he's kind of an asshole, crazy fucker, but yeah. On Thursday night, he appeared on Laura Ingram's Fox News show, where he appeared to criticize the shutdown. The economy is crashing around us, and they're doing that because people are dying because of the Wu flu, McGraw said. I get that. But look, the fact of the matter is we have people dying. 45,000 people a year die in automobile accidents. 480,000 from cigarettes. 360,000 from swimming pools, which is the total world number. He screwed up on that, and they basically used that to go like crucify him type bullshit. But we don't shut down the country for that. And he's right. And the thing is, we didn't shut down the country for H1N1. We didn't shut it down for bird flu. We didn't shut it down for Ebola. We didn't shut it down for anything else. But all of a sudden, the big bad orange man's in office, and we got to fucking lock the economy down, shut the whole country down, have everyone shelter in their place in their homes, okay, and basically watch the fucking country implode around us. Because they want him out of office, and they see this as an opportunity to do it. It's ridiculous. But yet, he added, we're doing it for this, and the fallout is going to to last for years because people's lives are being destroyed. They are being destroyed. You know what? When people lose their livelihoods, their homes, and everything else, okay, and their lives turn to shit because of this, do you think that we're not going to have all of a sudden the rate of suicide increasing in this fucking country? Bullshit. Of course we are. McGraw faced a brutal round of criticism for his comments, with his name trending on Twitter Friday morning. Yes, because the blue check marks started spurging out like retarded little children. Critics pointed out that automobile and swimming pool accidents are not contagious causes of death. Okay, but cigarette smoking, you people all claim that secondhand smoke kills all these people when there's no actual studies or anything that really truly proves it. So how about that one? You don't react this way with people smoking. I mean, as an ex-smoker, now vapor, I mean, I will say that you've turned people, that smoke into pariahs and shit, but you don't lock down the country because they're smoking. Moreover, his comments about swimming pools were grossly inaccurate. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, there were 3,536 unintentional drownings in the United States from 2005 to 2014, not 360,000 annually, as McGraw said. He made a mistake. Oops. Come on now. In a video posted online Friday afternoon, McGraw apologized and acknowledged his errors. Last night I said, we as a society have chosen to live with certain controllable deadly risks every day. Smoking, auto crashes, swimming, and yes, I know that those are not contagious, McGraw said. So probably bad examples, No, not necessarily, because, it shows the fact that we have risks in our life. You get in a car, you have a risk of getting in a crash and dying, okay? You have something to eat. You have a risk of getting food poisoning and getting very sick, which you could possibly die from food poisoning. All right? There's a lot of shit out there that will kill you. We take risks every day. We try to mitigate those risks, but those risks are still going to be there. You can't literally wrap the country up in cotton and say, all right, we're going to protect you and keep you safe, because that's not going to do it, because in trying to do that, you're destroying the country on another note, which is going to cause more hardship and hardship and pain. But see, these people don't care. They want Trump out of office. They're financially secure enough that if the country was locked down for 18 months, they'd still be set for the rest of their lives. People, like the personalities on CNN and Rachel Madcow and the others at MSNBC. The ones that are hardcore pushing this shit. And by the way, I misspoke about drowning deaths, McGraw added. I quoted a worldwide number, not a U.S. number. McGraw said he wants people to follow recommendations issued by public health experts and government leaders, and he said he believed the country was right to shut down if that's what it takes to protect people. See, the thing is he's, because of the Oprah thing and all that, he's going to backpedal because he's just like an opportunist to some extent. He's just going to bow down because he doesn't want to, kill the golden calf. But he didn't say anything crazy. It's ridiculous. But McGraw said he worries about people's mental well-being while stuck in quarantine. He said he is concerned the deterioration of the mental and physical health can be substantial while inside for prolonged periods of time. Yes, it can. And that's I think one of the things that they're hoping for with locking the country down for as long as they want people crazy. They want to exploit crazy in their attempt to get Trump out. They understand that this is going to have a psychological impact and a physical one as well. They don't care. If you didn't like my choice of words, I apologize for that, McGraw said. Know this, I'm concerned about you. That's my number one concern here. If you don't like my choice of words, then hit the eject button on those. But don't ever think, wow. There's typos in the fucking quotes too. I read it and I'm like, yeah, it makes sense with think, but don't ever think I'm not concerned about you. But don't ever think I'm not concerned for you. Now I get to Dr. Drew, which he left Dr. Drew for last because he's hoping that people will just stop reading. Pinsky is one of America's most famous physicians. He's widely known for his syndicated radio show, Loveline, and the reality television show, Celebrity Rehab. He's also known for being the premier addiction specialist in LA. before he became famous, he was getting famous people off of the fucking drugs, but whatever. He also previously hosted a show on CNN's sister channel, HLN. Yeah, and see, that's another thing. They don't like the fact that he's not towing the friggin' CNN line, the left's line, the Democrats' lines, the deep state line, that he's not going along with that. In early March, when called upon to offer his professional opinion on the Wu flu, he significantly downplayed the threat and instead attacked the news organizations that were taking it seriously, which is not what he did. He basically called out you fuckers for being fear porn, producers, trying to scare the people and trying to make them, just hand over all their freedom and shit and just cower in their homes. But whatever. In appearances on Fox News in early March, Pinsky claimed the real problem was due to panic, not the virus. Yes, because, if you didn't pull your shit with the masks and everything else, and people were able to just put masks on in the beginning, okay, if they weren't feeling well, whatever else, we would have a lot less issue. But see, you idiots like the one that I talked about from CNN that did the 18-month lockdown, that whack job, no masks. He was pushing the no human transmission in the early, if I remember correctly, he was one of the doctors you had on saying, no, he was pushing the CCP line because he had, Xi Jinping's dick up his ass and he was puppeteering him with it, and he's like, basically like, there's no human-to-human transmission. This isn't serious. This is ridiculous. You people are fucking disgusting. Seriously. In appearances on Fox News in early March, Pinsky... Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I read that. So he says, due to the panic, not the virus. And despite data proving a much higher mortality rate for the Wu flu, Pinsky argued that the flu was vastly more consequential. That's not what he did, but... whatever. He didn't really do that. But of course, Darcy is going to, because, the people that read my shit don't watch Fox News or clips of it. So I'm just going to lie out my ass. Anyway. It is a press-induced panic that will have real consequences, Pinsky said in a March 2nd appearance on Ingram Show. Oh, back when even everyone on CNN was saying, it's just a flu, bro? Because weren't you people still doing that back then? And the thing is, the press-induced panic will have real-world consequences because you overplayed what the situation was, and the country's, fucked right now because of it. So heaven forbid he call that out back on March 2nd. Pinsky shared a similar message in other television appearances, including channels outside of Fox News. He argued that panic inspired by the press was far worse than the virus. And he's right. See, this is what they don't like. He's calling them out for their fear-mongering, for their trying to literally destroy this fucking country to get the orange bad man out of office. Because that's what they're doing here. They're playing things up to be far worse than what they are because they want that to happen. Because they think if they implode the economy and destroy everyone loses their wealth and everything else, they're going to blame Trump. You know what? When there are going to be people out there going, no, that's not why. People are going to have long memories with this because you know what? Their lives aren't being taken up with work and everything else. They have the time to think about this shit. And they're going to remember who pushed the fucking bullshit. And that's another reason, that's one of the reasons why they don't want Trump to be able to talk, for himself with these press conferences. Because they don't want him to be able to say, this is what I'm doing, this is what's going on, because they want to be able to paint the narrative. Because that's what their plan is. They're trying to fuck everything up and screw us all over so that they can say it's all Trump's fault. It's ridiculous. I mean, don't get me wrong, what's going on is serious, but it's not to the levels of what they've claimed. Anyway, let's finish this up here. At the time, his comments were criticized, but Pinsky stood by them. But earlier this month, in the face of incontrovertible evidence, Pinsky apologized. My early comment equating the Wu flu with influenza were wrong, Pinsky said in an April 5th video posted to Twitter. They were incorrect, and I want to apologize for that. I wish I had gotten it right, but I got it wrong. And the thing is, but he really wasn't that wrong. It was it was you assholes and the blue check marks going after him, and the fact that he lives in fucking Hollywood, so he had to walk his shit back to save his own ass. Which is ridiculous. He's got so much money, he should just own his shit and go fuck you. Because you know what? He's set for life. He does not have to worry. Why should he care? All right. All he had to say is it's a bit more serious, but it's not as serious. If he had said, look, yeah, I said it was the Wu flu was like influenza, and it turns out it's a bit more serious. But I'm not the only one who got it wrong and then called out, say, CNN and MSNBC and the New York Times and the Washington Post and every other publication, lefty, legacy media run, lefty run legacy media publication out there. If he had called them all out for their fear porn, hey, yeah, he's walking things back a little, but he's at least admitting he made a mistake. And he's calling them out at the same time, which would have been the right thing to do because, hey, if they're trying to take him down, you might as well come out swinging, right? But yeah, basically, I just wanted to show how desperate they are right now. They don't want anyone speaking out against their narratives and what they're claiming needs to be done. And Oliver Darcy is not going to stand for that. Neither is CNN, neither is MSNBC, or like, say, the Washington Post or the New York Times, which I've already mentioned for another thing here, but yeah. Or any other publication like that, or any other news organization, which is a term I'm using so very loosely here, it's not even funny. They want us to comply. They want to control the narrative, and through it, us. This goes in the face of that. That's why they don't like it, because you have doctors coming out who have medical expertise saying, yeah, these people might be a little fucking crazy in what they're claiming. The numbers don't show that or anything along those lines. They're going to freak out on them. They're going to send the mob after them. They're going to freak out on them. Like I just said, they're going to have the mob go after them. And they're going to try to make those people's lives a living hell because how dare you go against this? What we're telling you. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.